What's up, tube of you? And we are taking a look today at things we've already looked at in the past, but I've carried now, and I can give you an educated opinion on this is good because of this is what I like, etc. These are the three pieces I have from what I think is Shadow Tech knives. I'm not sure if it matters because they're out of business. As far as I know, the owners are in Florida on the beach. Good for them. And this is the stuff that they made. I'm assuming they made them in small batches. We'll get into it. So this had a good amount of time on the channel, and I modded it via a gentleman who sharpens for a living. And this is basically a defensive spike. Before I modded it, I think that it would have passed as something that's not a knife and it's just a spike. But then had you gone to use it and insert it into someone or something that is flesh, this stuff is going to grab and it's going to be like sliding on asphalt. And unless you're really going, it's going to hang up. So I was like, just get rid of it. He kept this part. That's cool. He did a great job. You'll see that it has cross guards. It has a pommel, kind of. It's not really a pommel, is it? No. It's wrapped. I mean, this is 100% made for thrusting. It's purpose driven. It's got a nice grind. Well, now it does. To carry it is a little bit of a pain. I'm not going to lie. Carrying it like this, although it might work in a boot knife vertically, work as a boot knife, it's going to jam into your body unless you are super skinny and never bend over. But even then, it's going to jam into your body. So I carry this appendix carry when I do carry it, and it's always pretty much just in front of me. My gear is right hand dominant, basically all of it. But I do, like I've talked about in the past, if things were going down, I got mace in my left hand, and I'm going to town. So if need be, if the mace cures the situation, stops the threat, then obviously I'm stopping. So I carry this the same manner. What I do like about it, the tips of these guys are very nice, just like that one was. But like right here, you can see this right here comes all the way down to the tip. Like it actually meets the tip, the very tippy. And this meets the tip. This is a very strong tip. Let me put it that way. It would take a great amount of force for me. Could I snap this off? Yeah, for sure. There's knots in the wood outside of my place. I live in kind of the hood right now. But there's beams that support a walkway because where I live is kind of like a motel. And, you know, your door just opens to the outside, which is so amazing. Never seeing people I don't want to see anyway is great. So I don't share the hallways with anybody. There's no halls. But I could go out there, find a knot, put this in there, snap it off. But people aren't knots in wood, right? So for me, for this, and obviously this right here is sharpened. This is very, very sharp. So, you know, this is sharp all the way up to there. This is sharp. It has some jimping, which I don't think would work because the coating that they put on these knives is a little thick and kind of takes the edge off. Not complaining, I'm just saying. I'm just giving you a accurate report. They've got this, what is either G10, I think it's G10, or micarta. Nice texture, very grippy. Pins are flush. Chances of this falling off are pretty low. I wouldn't say zero, but they're low. If this were rounded, if it had a rounded, more broom handle shape, I would actually like it more. Like, for instance, this is within reach. See how this is rounded, the sawbuster is rounded. This, it feels more comfortable in the hand. Obviously, it's bigger. So that's the trade-off. But for what this is, this handle is fine. And if I'm in a situation where, it's go time, like people are attacking me, and this is no joke, it's going down. And the mace didn't work. It didn't scare them off, didn't deter them. This is coming out post haste. Let's if I've got it on me. If I don't, then I'm reaching for Nux. We're not really going over that right now. But because not only can I thrust, not only can I gross motor movement like this, right? This is by the way, I watched. I'm going to try to keep this as trash talk free as possible. But I watched somebody talking about a system that they sell, and they were talking about a certain movement that comes in like this, and they were like acting like that wasn't the first thing you learned from anybody that teaches you anything about knife fighting, ever. This is a rudimentary basic. It would be like if a baby took a step and I was like, holy, look at this baby, I taught it how to do this. You know what I mean? Like, so not only can I do this, and it has this knife or this tip on it, but say for whatever reason, and it's hard, it's hard to think of any reason, I can also do this motion, or if I need to, let's say I trap, like for some reason I jump back and I block or whatever, I'm trapping it, I can then yank back and pull. Because believe it or not, and especially if you're working out regularly, the pushing, although yes, it has many applications, but the pulling is where you're going to consistently be able to, in almost all situations, generate a great amount of force. Because to push, you need to have a sturdy footing, or you need to have some sort of anchor point. And sometimes those things are like at a premium in a fight. This I haven't carried so much, mostly because it is fairly big, but the handle is less pointy. But something that I noticed is this swedge comes all the way out to, no joke, meet that point. Like if you look at that swedge, keep your eye on it, it goes all the way out there. And this is oh my gosh. I'm trying. We gotta zoom in. See that? Swedge goes all the way out. So this is a beefcake of a knife. It caught some hate on the channel for being a pry bar, which it kind of is, but as far as if you were in a situation you need to defend yourself, it'd be great. It would also, I think, work in several other applications. I could dress game with this even if you couldn't or can't. It would not be a big deal. Oh, look, the Shadow Tech, and then the USA is there. Let's see if we can find it. Nope, the coding filled it in. I don't even know where to look for it on this. So yeah, this is kind of just an overview of. I bought these 3 Shadow Techs. I got a good deal on them. I've had to mod this one, but they have all been geared very well to what their applications are. And I actually really like this. This finger choil that is part of the handle, but not part of the blade. I don't know if it would be a sub-hilt. I don't think so. But it's there to assist you. And I think it would also be very useful if you had gloves on. Because a lot of what we talk about on this channel and as an EDC community, I hate how that sounds when I say it, but a group of people that are prepared way, way more than the average person who's walking around naked as the day they were born, as far as tools go, and wearing clothes from Walmart. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, they can't even really survive a night in the summertime if if their truck broke or whatever. And they were stuck and they didn't have cell service. When we talk about it, we're not talking. We usually are not even mentioning gloves. When was the last time somebody mentioned gloves? I mention it quite a bit, just because I try to keep it real on this channel. But this would actually help. You get a hold of this if you had gloves on, and it would help you draw it out and keep a hold of it while you hacked and slashed and did your thing. Would I want to go to the mass with gloves on? No. I would be taking the gloves off ASAP so I can better grab. But it's going to help you in general anyway, because when you get an adrenaline dump, you lose. And this is something else that I just don't hear people talk about. And it's amazing to me because this is like day 101 at boot camp for we're going to try to teach you not to get wrecked. Adrenaline dump, you lose the fine motor skills. So all of a sudden, like, you're not able to manipulate your digits as well. You're really just able to, like, maybe do this. And you'll tell your body, no, manipulate, do this, use this, but you can't. That's why in the Marines or wherever you're training to go to the shit, they're gonna teach you ways to rack that rifle without using fine motor skills, without taking it to the charging handle and pulling like this, because you might not be able to do it. So you take the edge of your knife hand, you put it to the charging handle, you push back towards your shoulder, in a fluid motion, it racks the rifle. So that being said, these are some things to look for that are positive. This isn't about one knife, it's about knives. But it has turned into a kind of a philosophy of use. You gotta be really careful who you listen to. And I would really push you guys, if you're going to, like, jump into the waters of, I'm going to start taking classes, that you are doing it with people that have actually been to this shit. And, I mean, you'll be able to tell. Or you're going to gyms and training with actual boxing coaches. Or you're going to dojangs or dojos or whatever, and you're practicing combatives with people that have a ton of experience. And I can tell you right now, if somebody is claiming that the system that they have invented, a circular motion with anything, that they're selling you snake oil. No one in their right mind would ever say that. It's beyond insane. Like, it is just so crazy. So yeah, you need to be able to, if you can't take the points or the principles of something and apply them to something else, and they're only applicable in very specific circumstances, chances are it's garbage. All right. This is one of the reasons I go to pains on this channel, go to links to be like, this is what you want to look on a strong tip. This is going to go all the way out, all the way out, all the way out. These finishes are going to get stuck against flesh because flesh is warm. This is cold. Also because of how blood acts. And if you actually get into some actual, no joke, real training, you're going to learn a lot. But you're not going to have people saying things like, I invented this, or this is part of this system, these basic strikes. I feel like if a karate instructor was like, here's a punch, you know, like, this punch was invented by karate. You should take this punch and you can use this karate punch in street fights. Like, anybody can throw a punch. The difference between a martial artist or a martialist and a brawler or somebody that just punches is technique and discipline and knowledge about not just the applications of force, but the anatomy of the target and where you're applying that force to. So there's a lot more than just a little bit of song and dance. You're going to have to be willing to invest, and you're going to want to have, like I've said this, you're going to be able to sit down and be like, what's your pedigree? For me, I started the martial arts very early because of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, as silly as that sounds. It's something I share with many, many people. When I was 6. From 6 to about 17, I competed. It took a while for me to get good, but I competed on the national level in sparring. And full contact Olympic sparring where you don't have any pads on, which is kind of silly, I guess. And I have scars from it on my face. But to point and other stuff that's lighter contact, more technique oriented. Would I use only Taekwondo in a street fight? Absolutely not. I would be using everything. I don't have to think to myself, I'm only using Taekwondo because I'm not a robot. I don't know what else to say. But then from there, I joined the Marine Corps. So all of a sudden, I couldn't do martial arts anymore because my body cannot be broken, or I'm leaving my buddies high and dry. And then I deployed to Iraq. And then, etc. I got into bouncing. Did that for umpteen hours. Been shot at, applied mace to many people. Present day, I'm kind of just a pugilist out to pasture. Like, you know what I mean? I'm chilling. But that, and if I needed to, I could produce photos of me at nationals, standing on a podium with medals. I could produce photos of me overseas, in a combat zone, in Iraq, operating as a machine gunner, in a combat role. You know what I mean? As far as the bouncing, we weren't really taking pictures of each other, but I could give you numbers to call of people who would be like, yeah, we know that guy. We called him Devil Dog when we worked with him because he was a Marine or a former Marine. It depended on what era of my life. And, he was good to go. Like, maybe not the smartest guy, but showed up to work sober, had your back, wasn't crazy, didn't do anything nuts. So, yeah. So these are things that you should probably ask an instructor. Just like we're looking for things on these weapons, you're looking for things in instructors. And you're going to want to check that, right? You're going to want to, the Army says, or did when I was around them, trust but verify. I would just shorten it to verify. There's no reason to make people feel good by saying, oh, I trust you, but I'm going to verify. No, I'm just going to go verify. Like this is something worth verifying, and I'm just going to do it. So yeah. Anyway, that's what all she wrote for this one. Thanks for sticking with me to the end, and I hope you folks have a good rest of your day. If you see these Shadow Tech knives, this one I don't see hardly at all, ever. This is the only one I've seen, I think. On eBay, you see them float through. I think it would be worth setting up a search. We talk about a lot the search function on eBay and how you can use it to your advantage by saving searches, and then going on there, using the feed option to see all the searches populate at the same time. It'd be worth setting one up for Shadow Tech. Peace.